Hello and welcome everyone to another painting live streaming from Big Child Creatives. My name is Ruben Martinez and I will be painting the miniature from our Kickstarter that is running right now. As you can see in the live streaming from yesterday, we can't do it because some issues had happened in Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. So apologize for that. But I think that today is running all okay. So we are happy to see you there again. And we will start with the streaming. Not before to congratulate you to all of the bakers of the Kickstarter, because maybe you already know this, you unlock another stretch goal on the campaign. Let me show you this one. I think it's not refreshed. Okay. So this is the new stretch goal that you unlock. This is an scenario kit for your miniatures and it's wonderful. Now you can place these beautiful items in the same scene as your characters in order to make a pretty scene. So congrats for you. And if you are new in the live streaming or already you know about the campaign, I'll explain a little bit what this means. At this point, you already unlock these 5 characters from the standard figures and 1 from the exclusive figures, and another one like this bust of Antonin Redford that is an extra of the campaign from the social stretch goal. So if you have these pledge, the Kobberland module, you already have these 7 miniatures plus the scenery kit that I already showed you. So it's great, I think. And don't forget that the king is more near than before. Maybe this is the miniature that you are waiting for. It's another Kickstarter exclusive miniature. That this means you can only get these 2 miniatures, the exclusive one, at this campaign. So we hope that in the following days you will see the king in all of his splendor. So let's talk and more paint. Okay, this is Longspan, the character that I'm painting right now. And if you saw the live streaming before, I applied some shadows onto the miniatures. Maybe you don't know the miniature. Will seems little strange for you, but this is the rider for this one, okay? His name is Kitti, and this is the rider, okay? So in this live streaming I will paint the skin, the face, and I'll start to apply some light on the miniature. Okay, so To start with this, I'll start to apply some lights onto the part that already see you in white. Is because I reserve these places for lighting. Hello to the newcomers. We have just started, so don't worry. Okay, so you can see the concept part on the right side of the screen. So I'll start to cover this part of the clock. I will do very quickly because I want to focus in the skin, okay? But I need to remove these white parts. So I will mix a bright color for the lights of the clock. Maybe you don't see a lot of the wet palette. Don't worry, because I'll try to put the colors over this part in order that you can see the right color, maybe some mixes. But the problem is that we have already one camera, so if you want to see the wet palette, I need to put the camera further, and you didn't see so close the process. So I think that is better in this way. But don't hesitate to ask me whatever you want about the colors, the mixes, the technique, the Kickstarter itself, whatever you want. In English or in Spanish. I prefer in Spanish because my English is a little weird, but I'm doing my best in this live streaming, so I hope that you can understand my English. Okay, I'll add some ochre to the mix. You saw already some of the live streaming before. You can notice that I'm using very usually common colors in all my mixes. So at the end I work with primary colors like these ones, okay? Or in this case I have substituted the red for the magenta. Is my primary color instead red. So I will add a little bit to my wet palette. And of course I have more secondary colors like those ones, for example, that I usually use for certain parts of the process. Okay, I'll start to... Oh, a lot of a lot of friends today. Hi to all of you. Hi Ben, how are you? Calem, hola, buenas. Hoy mejor, ya tenemos el aire acondicionado arreglado, así que hoy puedo pintar sin morirme. Es una experiencia. Okay, maybe you will see the mix a little bit. It's some kind of gray, cold gray, and I will add a little bit of ochre to the mix to make the color warmer. Okay, in all the process I'm applying this trick, making the shadows colder and the lights warmer. Sorry, I said before I am adding ochre to make it colder. No, I mean to make it warmer. This is the thing that I was talking about my English. Okay. So maybe I will do more greenish the mix. So I will add to my white palette the blue. The blue is a color that is very present on my miniature. Okay? So as you can see on Kitti, you can see the ochre, the orange, the purples. But the purples, I made these purples with this blue and this magenta. So in this way, I ensure a coherence between the two miniatures. It's important to think in these kind of things because I painted it separately in order to get more comfortable with the process. Okay, and the only primary left in my wet palette is the yellow. If you haven't worked with these paints before, I recommend you because they have some properties that are very cool, like very strong pigment and a good power of coverage. In these steps are things that I need to do in order to not making a lot of layers. Okay? Maybe I need a more clear color, so I will add a little bit of this. It's not white. It's ivory. A touch of this will make my color brighter, but a lot of this will desaturate my colors a lot of, so I don't need this. Okay, let's try this time better. Okay, so with this mix, as you can see, I'm covering the white parts that are the parts reserved for the light. Is the image... Hola, Dani. Yeah, Ben. This brand of colors is a gift from our friends from Chimera, and we are trying these colors, and we are very happy with the results. Hello, Audrey. How are you? Nice to see you there again, like all the days. Audrey is a great supporter of us, and she's there all the time. So thank you very much, Audrey. Do you like the new stretch goal, the scenario kit? I think that these kind of pieces are fantastic in order to make a beautiful scene with the miniatures. You can place the miniature in a place, not make a random terrain for the miniature. And the storytelling of the piece is more powerful in this way, I think. By the way, if you are guessing if I will do a base for this miniature. Yes, I will do that. Something easy, but I think this will be very effective. It's important that always that you have in mind to place the miniature in somewhere. Try to tell the history of the miniature with the base is a funny part of the modeling and of the painting miniature wall. Okay, is the image clear? Hola Unai, sí, tengo el pelícano fuera de la cámara. Esta es Kitti, pero ahora es el turno de Longspan, ¿ok? Más tarde volveremos con Kitti para rematar el trabajo. Yes, Ben, is amazing. The work of Patrick Masson on this miniature is maybe one of the best miniature sculptors of the world, and we have the luck to collaborate with him once again. So from here, thanks Patrick for that, and congratulations for your miniature, because I'm painting this one and I'm enjoying a lot. All is perfectly defined and I love the miniature. I'll make in this part a little bit of texture in order to simulate some, I don't know the word. ¿Alguien sabe cómo se dice desgastado? Scratch it. Okay, something like that. Here's Rodrigo Ciprés helping me with the English. So we are fucked. Okay, so okay, I don't have more any white parts. Oh yeah, in the helmet. Okay, I'll. Sí, Unai. Tengo que tener mucho cuidado para no sacar la mini de la cámara. If any time I go out from the camera, scream to me, okay? But in this live streaming, I make a close-up over the miniature in order that you can see the work on the face better. Yeah. Thanks, Guillermo. Some wear on the cloth. That's it. That is. Okay. It's beautiful because I'm learning English with you too. This is some kind of exchange. Okay. I will cover this part of the helmet with a dark color. Okay. So I will mix quickly some blue and some magenta. Okay. And a little bit of yellow in order to obtain a very dark color, okay? This is only for cover the white. By the way, tomorrow I will painting the non-metallic metal of the helmet. Okay? So I only make this, and tomorrow we will do the rest. I think all the people likes to see how the non-metallic metal is do, and it's very easy. You will see it. Sorry, because sometimes I need to put the miniature in some strange positions, and I know that I'm going off the focus, but I'll try to recover the point as fast as I can. Okay, so you see how mixing the three primaries I obtain a very dark color. It's no need to add black to your mixes in order to do that. And a quick coat for the feathers of the helmet, okay? In some light gray, like this. And in this side, the same. Okay, so at this point you are seeing that the parts with white are taking our attention strongly. This is why I cover the white parts of the rest of the miniature, sorry, first, and I will work on these ones. It's all clear for you? You don't have any questions at this point? Okay, so I will continue making some mix for the skin, okay? So for the skin I will choose a color like this one is called All Rose for the base, but I will mix this color with others that I already used in the miniature in order to achieve the things that I was talking about before, some ambience, some coherence in my mixes, in my colors. Okay, so for the shadows I applied some magenta. So for the lights I will add a little bit of magenta. Okay, and this color maybe is too pinkish. So I will add a little bit of ochre Why? For the same reason than before, to make the lights of the skin warmer. Sorry, and these lights will contrast perfectly with the shadows that has more blue, that are colder than the lights. It's important that you understand this concept, because we are achieving the contrast with the temperature of the colors, not with adding white contrast of values. Okay, so I have this color and I need to apply it over the white parts. Maybe is very saturated. I like it, but I will desaturate it a little bit with a touch of this gray blue. Okay, why? Because this color is very used on the feathers of Kitty. Okay, I'm adding this color, and this will make more coherence between the two characters. Okay, let's see how it's work. And I will add some magenta. Okay, makes sense for you, these kind of things? Okay. Hola, Geroni. Hello to the newcomers. Okay. This color is, I think, perfect. As you can see, I don't have recipes. I don't like it. I prefer to think in what my mixes need. I'm painting the lights more carefully than the shadows. In the shadows, I went more broadly, but in this step, I want to start start making the things more defined. So I will take a little bit more care than before. Okay, so you can see how the volumes flow up with the light. Yeah, it's taking a more natural appearance, the character, I think. The white is a little bit weird for the eye. Okay. I'm making some draws in the volumes at this step. Okay, this is how it looks after this step. I think that I will make more darker this color of the light. Why? Because if you do this light so brighter, later you don't have any room to go up with more light. Okay, so I rectificate again my mix. It's not a problem at all. And for your mixes, don't worry about to obtain the same exact color than before. You don't need it. If you mix some color and later another one that is a little bit similar, the only thing you will get is more tonal composition on your miniature. The things don't go from that tone to the other tone, needs some middle tones, some variations, okay? So I will paint the fingers from this side. And in the inner part a little bit. These parts are the more difficult to paint because I don't want to ruin the work of the underneath parts, but I prefer to paint the miniature, all of the miniature mounted, because I can see clearly these planes of light and shadows where they are. So if you paint the things separately, maybe you were applying light wrongly in a place that this light can be. I'm making a little bit definition in these down parts of the skin. Okay. José, no tenemos elfos todavía, tío. Do you like the elves? Jose is telling me that I need to paint elves instead of dwarves. Okay, those are the more hidden parts of the model, so is the more difficult to reach. Sorry if I make these strange positions for the miniature. I will make some detailing over this part, and the work is almost done for the right arm. Okay, so I'll move on to the face that is quite similar. I will cover the parts in white with this color. So I think that this process is very intuitive and easy to follow. Don't you think? This is the tricky part of the miniature, because the face always scared to all of you. But at the end, I think this is the funniest part to paint, the mini. It's not difficult, only you need to have a little bit of technique. But that's all. It's not difficult. Trust me. And a good brush. This is true. By the way, I paint with do it that you don't ask me nothing. I tell you things, random things. I am painting with Winsor Newton. I think these brushes are quite expensive, but at the end are very, very good for this task. And when you need to make teeny details, the tip is very sharp. After all of the years painting orcs, I must admit that painting dwarfs is very funny. A lot of characters await you in the Kickstarter in order to get unlocked. So I think that there are a lot of surprises for you in the campaign, and I'm sure that the other characters that are not unlocked yet will amaze you. But remember, if you like this one, I'm already painting exclusive Kickstarter character. So if you like this one, don't lose your time, because in this Kickstarter is the only chance to obtain this one. Okay. And I'll need to paint. I'll do a little bit of texture in the nose, in the tip. At the end is a dwarf, and you can do these kind of things with them. And for okay, the face has the other part over here. It's more hidden, but we need to paint all the parts and recesses. Okay, so only left, oh, okay, I think this is a little part to paint in this place. And for the air, I will mix another color, more pinkies, a lot of pinkies, in fact. I will use a lot of magenta for this part. Why? These parts are parts of the body that have a lot of irrigation. You can see how the blood floats under the skin. So I love to do this part in these other tones. More pinkies, as you can see. The process for painting that is the same, but the color I choose is different. Is the only thing that can change. Of course, later we can add tones, more tones, but for the sketching work, I'll start to add this magenta from this point. Okay, and a little bit more. As you can see, always I put my fingers over the miniature in order to have more control of the brush, in order to be more precise. I will add some of this tone in the nose for the same reason, and in the cheek. Okay? I forget to paint the eye. The eye is closed, so I need to paint the... Elio, ¿cómo se dice párpados en inglés? Eyelids. Okay, the eyelids. So, for the eyelids, I did that. And the other one. Okay. Patrick, I love you. It's so well defined. Okay. I'll paint the other hand more quickly. Hola, Hugo. Ya estamos aquí todos, casi. Falta Iván que se unió ayer, pero hoy no. Estará haciendo burpees. Hola, Jovita, debe ser la hermana de Hugo. Bienvenida. Okay, I will paint the other arm a little bit quicker than the other parts in order to focus on the face and the exposed arm, but the process is pretty the same. I love to draw in the fingers of these dwarves because they have a lot of wrinkles, and these kind of textures are very fun to paint. By the way, do you see what is near in the campaign? Do you see the preview of the king? I don't know what is his name, but the dwarf held it with two dwarves. Do you know what I'm talking about? Ah, es tu tía. Tranquilo, tranquilo Melgui, que es de confianza. A mí la gente con el pelo largo me da confianza. Sí, sí, ya lo había comentado Hugo. La verdad es que se pinta muy bien. Pero vamos, como las tuyas. En esa línea de calidad. You are very quiet today. Okay. I'm doing this part pretty fast, as you can see. And later I will clean up the sketch and my work, and I'll refine the wall miniature until I finish the work more perfectly. But today I want to show you how this quick sketch looks and how you can work with that technique. I'm doing the same technique for all the model along all of these days. By the way, if anyone don't know, this is the 4th live streaming video of the Kickstarter series, of the Kickstarter of the Traders of Kobberland. And if you like this kind of videos, don't forget to follow us and subscribe. Later we will put some of these videos on Instagram and on our YouTube. So if you want to support us, please follow us in these social medias. It's curious because yesterday, or no, the day before, the paint will dry because the warmer weather. Today is drying because the cold air machine. So for this nothing changed. I think that painting is better in winter, but for you will be there along these days until I think the next week, and the other is the time that the Kickstarter will be running. So we will try to fight the warm summer with you, painting together, and many surprises. We have more things for you that we hope that you like it. This step maybe is the more longer to do, because you must take account that you are covering the whole surface of the miniature. So don't worry, because this is normal. Coméntanos, Rodrigo, ¿qué pasa?
Estamos riéndonos del tamaño de la peana.
¿De cuál peana?
De la que le has hecho el de Celestia ahí. Que va a estar pintando David piedras esta mañana.
Okay, so I'm near to end this step. And this is the look after I applied. Okay, sorry, I almost forget the another air. The same process down for the other, a pinky stone, and haha. Sí, más o menos, Florencio. He marcado las sombras que no máximas y las luces que no máximas. Simplemente he marcado los planos de luz y de sombra, ¿vale? Ok. This part is maybe the most difficult to read, but it's not a problem at the end. So this is the appearance after this light were applied. Okay. Eso es, Hugo, eso es. A ver, hola, Moyarco. A ver, tu pregunta. Hola, una pregunta. Bueno. Vale, estáis preguntando, por ejemplo, ahora que si con la parte de la luz, al meterme en la sombra, si lo hago por transparencias para crear como un tono medio. No, realmente estoy metiéndome con la luz en la sombra, como podéis ver, de forma que voy dibujando y voy cubriendo, ya voy dibujando volumetrías. El tono medio lo aplicaré ahora. Pero esta es una forma para trabajar las luces y las sombras de forma clarísima y nítida. O sea, que separemos los planos de luz y de sombra de la miniatura de forma rápida y sencilla y bastante comprensible. No te hace falta pensar en tonos medios. Realmente los tonos medios, que se habla mucho de ellos en miniaturas, es una transición entre los planos de luz y la sombra. No tiene más. Es verdad que le da mucha vidilla a las figuras, pero a efectos de... hay veces que lían, efectos teóricos, hay veces que nos liamos mucho con estos conceptos. Entonces, más que los tonos medios, yo creo que la importancia está en dónde estén los planos de luz y los planos de sombra. Y los tonos medios simplemente, imagínatelos como son las zonas de transición entre la luz y la sombra. Ahora lo vais a ver mejor cuando añada el tono medio, ¿vale?
¿Lo vas a sacar con aero?
Sí, con aerógrafo.
Vale, pues está desenchufado.
No,
Sí, lo tengo desenchufado.
pues enchúfalo.
Era para cargarlo.
Pues descarga el móvil, Rodri.
Descargado.
It's clear. Okay, I'm talking about in Spanish about the middle tones. Okay, they are asking me about the middle tones because I am playing the lights and then the shadows. Okay, or vice versa. The answer was that the middle tones is the thing that I'm going to do right now in order to clean the transitions and applying these middle tones. Okay, so the way that I work is sketching lights and shadows. I think this is more important than middle tones. The places where you place the planes of light and shadows is the one of the more important things on the miniatures in order to make it more comprehensible for the eye. So you need to focus your work in this, not in color, of course in color too, but I think that the volumetry and the values of the colors that you apply is the most important thing. So as you can see, I'm applying a little bit of light, only in these parts, a little bit of points of light. Okay, and maybe in the earth. I'm making these points of light to enhance the volumetry a little bit. But you will see it clearly right now when I apply the airbrush onto the miniature. Okay, so this is my sketch of light and shadows over the miniature. What do you think? Hola Cristian, bienvenido. Qué bueno verte por aquí. And this is the other part. Okay, so I will start to add more smooth in my transitions, the medium tones, and for that I will use the airbrush. And first I'll start to clean a little bit the light. Okay, so for the light I will use a version of the colors I use. So I will take magenta, a little bit of ochre, and a little bit of this pink. I think more warmer will work better. And this layer is applied in a very diluted way. Okay, so with the eyebrows I will not cover not much, only a little. Okay, and I applied over the lights in order to clean and smooth a little bit. In this process, I will darken in a little bit the lights, but this is not a problem because later I will redo my lights with some highlighting. You can do that with the brush instead than with the airbrush. It's the same. You don't need the airbrush to paint, but it's true that with the airbrush the work is quite faster. Okay, so my lights are now more smooth. So now I will do the same, but with the shadows. For that I will change the color, of the eyebrows for the color that I use for the shadows, or something like that. But at the end, a color that will be dark and a little bit saturated. And those will be your middle tones that you are asking about. I will add a lot of magenta because the skin has a lot of magenta in the shadows. So at the end, I need more magenta. Okay. Another use of the Chimera colors are with the eyebrows that has the same properties because the pigment is so strong. when you apply it with the airbrush and covers perfectly. So, and your airbrush won't be obturated with the paint. So is very good for this kind of smoothing the sketchings. Okay, so I have this kind of color in my airbrush. You see it, and let's see how it works. I applied in the same way, very diluted, and from down, trying to not paint too much in the lights. With this, I'm doing those middle tones. Maybe you don't see it already now, but in a moment you will see it. Okay? Sorry? You see how my transitions are cleaning, more smooth than before. Okay, I'm thinking about to add some red to the mix. Maybe it's too magenta, and this set comes with this color. It's called red oxide. That is some kind of shadow for a skin, for a human skin. So this color will be perfect to add to my mix. Here I will add a little bit of water in order to make it still transparent, and I will add a little bit of this to my mix in order to make it more reddish. Okay, something like that. This color will be more natural than the other. But at the end, I'm adding tones. I'm making a variety of tones for the character. And this is important. You don't need to go over the light. Not too much. Only you want a little bit, a touch, but not too much. Sorry if sometimes you can see the part where I am painting, but I can do in other way. Because I'm painting with very diluted paint, it takes me some time, but this is good in order to not get very abusive with this color. So you don't need to be afraid in order to paint too much with these tones, because the dilution of the paint is very transparent, okay? As you can see, the dilution don't paint too much, okay? So it's very difficult to overwork or make some mistakes with this kind of tones. Okay, and I'll do the same for the face. This is a little bit tricky, but the principles are the same. From down the miniature, this is why I put the miniature in this way, okay? And in this way, the paint only deposits on the shadow parts of the miniature. So this is the way I take advantage from the airbrush. And of course, the miniature. You can do that because the miniature are so well defined and sculpted. You can do more precisely on the eye socket. But as I said you before, the paint is so diluted, so it's difficult to make something irreparable on the miniature. Okay, so don't be afraid with that, and insist until the color is achieved, the color that you want. Okay, so after cleaning the transitions between the shadows and the light, this is the look of my character. Okay, so I empty my airbrush, and the only thing left to do is make some light points onto the skin. Okay, so for that I will use again my brush, and I will redo the mix for the lights or something similar. As I told you before, you don't need to make the exact mix again. I will take some of the gray, and now with the brush you can make the final work, that is redo the light points. In this way. You see? You can add these little light points to the volumes. And the good part of this process is that you can go over and over again over the process. You can make now these points of light, and if you like, you can repeat the cleaning process. So you can redo the airbrush cleaning process again, and later do again other points of light, and so on until you accomplish a work of your likeness. This is an organic method to work. Is going forward, going backwards. But it's not in backwards, you are advancing. You know what I mean? Okay, so in the face, I will do something similar. So you can see what I'm talking about. Is clear the things that I'm explaining to you? These light points on the face will give you more definition and more life to the character. Of course, in the earth, you can add these points of light again. As you can see, this time I need to paint less than before. So you, in this step, you don't need to paint again all the light. You only need to make little touches. So each time that you repeat the process, you will spend less time, and the result will be better because you are refining your work. Maybe for a character like this one, I'll do this process again. So I will make those points of light, and then I will clean up the work a little bit, and then I will redo this point of light, and let's see what happens. But I'm afraid that we don't have enough time to see all of this, but you can get the idea, I think. Hola, Miguelón. Hoy está dormido casi. So, this is the result after the review of the light points, and you can go further. You can go with a more brighter color for your final highlights. For example, something like that. This is a bright ochre. You will see this color. For my final highlights, maybe is too bright, but this color I will apply only in teeny dots, teeny lines, like this one. Maybe is too warm. I will add a little bit of blue in order to make more natural this light. I will apply these points of light only in a few places. In the places where the light falls more directly onto the character. Okay, for the fingers are important parts in order to make more definition like this. And of course, in the other hand, a little bit of this point of light will work perfectly. Okay, so for today, I think this is the work that I like to share with you, how to paint these kind of parts on a miniature that is very tricky for you, like the skin of the character. But I think and I hope that before that this will help you in order to manage this kind of parts on the miniature. So tomorrow we will working onto the helmet and refining some parts. So I hope to see you there tomorrow. Is the last day of the weekend that we had been making the live streaming. We need to rest on weekend. And one more time, I'd like to congratulations to you about the new stretch goal that you unlocked right today. And let me show you if you don't see it. And we are in 30K, so you unlock the scenery kit of the kitchen, this one, beautiful items for your miniatures and for your stands. This comes for free if you have the mogul pledge, and the good news is about the king that is more near than ever. And let me see, this one is the one that we are waiting for, and is very close. So we will hope that you will unlock this in the following days, and maybe, who knows, we will make some live streaming with this miniature. So thank you very much to all once again for supporting us, to follow us, and to be with us in every live streaming. So thank you very much, and see you tomorrow.